YouTube, happy Thursday night. It's almost Friday. And just before I get started, I just want to say it's Laurel. It's not Yanni, okay? Actually, truth be told, I hear both. And it's trippy, but I can hear both. And it's like, oh man, it's like those visual things where if you look at the inverted, you can see like the hidden picture. It's the same thing with audio. Anyways, I got some cars out. I have not. Whoa. I haven't looked at these in a while. And I've added some new ones into my collection. So I just want to take a look at these on this Thursday night. And then we will call it a night. So this is all going to be Tomica limited vintage. The nicest brand of diecast available in the scale. I really don't see how anybody could even argue that. You could argue that they're not necessarily the most desirable castings, but I don't see how you could argue that they're not the nicest fit and finish and build quality and detail, because they are. This is a Nissan Prairie. Very cool little car. And, you know, some of the castings are probably less desirable. Like this one here, although I really find this one to be really cool. I like it and I dig it a lot. I love unique type of castings like this. Kind of fits in that AMC Gremlin or Dodge Omni category, where it's just a real oddball casting. So I'm going to go really in no particular order because I have, I think I only have 3 different brands. Nissan, Toyota, and Honda are actually the only 3 brands that I have. So I'll just run through these in no particular order. This is a Toyota Landcruiser. Very cool. Some of these don't have the accessories. Like this one here came with a couple of antennas, and I think it had a side view mirror, or maybe a couple of side view mirrors, but you have to put them on yourself, and I'm just not going to do that. I don't trust myself. I don't have that skill set. Plus, you know, at some point they're going to go back in the boxes, and when you have the accessories on them, a lot of times they're not going to go back into the box without breaking something. But this Landcruiser is awesome. The next time they bring this out with a civilian livery, I'll have to grab it because those ones go for pretty decent money. I think you can find the green one though. It's green and white for around $50. But for now, this radio station truck will just have to do. I still dig it quite a bit. This is a really nice one here. Toyota Century. It's basically Toyota's version of the, kind of like what the Nissan President would be. It's a really big car. I think they're actually classified as limousines. But I do like, in this case, I do like the Toyota. I like the style of the Toyota better. In general, I like the styling of Nissans better than Toyotas. There are a few exceptions to that, but my preference in general, though, is to collect Toyota. There's definitely a lot less Toyota stuff out there, especially from TLV. TLV has done almost an endless amount of Nissan stuff. But this is definitely a nice one. Cool car. Not all of these have suspension, but some of them do. Most of them actually do. This one here I just showed actually not too long ago. This is a Toyota Carina. I don't have too many of these. What do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I have 17 of them, so not a ton, but an okay little collection. There's the Nissan Safari. Really cool 4x4 here. I gotta grab something standing by. I forgot that I had one put away and set aside. I was going to sell this one or trade it. And it just didn't happen, so I now need to put it back into my collection. Alright, so the Nissan Safari, they don't do a lot of like 4x4 stuff. They did the Safari, the Landcruiser, they did the Nissan, what is it, a Prado, which essentially is like a two-door Pathfinder, like a first generation Pathfinder but with a two-door. That's what it looks like. This thing is awesome, though. Really nice detail on these cars. This one doesn't have suspension. Neither does the Landcruiser. But I think all the rest of these do. So here's the Hakoska Nissan Skyline. This is basically the same car Matchbox just put out. Except Matchbox did the two-door. TLV did the four-door. I really wish that TLV would do a Ken Mary. Although I think they kind of did, because I think the van is a Ken Mary, but I'm not positive on that. Either way, this one is really nice. It's been out in quite a few different colors, but I find this color to be my favorite. These cars, the quality is just so good. It's such a high quality. When you pick the cars up, you can just feel the quality. You just feel a certain level of quality that you don't feel with a lot of other brands, including like M2, for example. This is a Toyota Carina. Really cool little car here. I think this is an older one too, because that's one thing about Tomica Limited Vintage. They put the date on the base, and the only thing is I don't know if that's the copyright date of when the casting originally was released, or if that's the date of the particular release of whatever variation. You know, because they re-release castings every couple of years. So I know this has been out in a few different colors. This is like it's not a brown, it's like almost a cross between a maroon and a brown. Probably not going to show through on the camera. Really digging the wheels on this though. Cool car. Metal body, metal base. This is a pretty popular little casting here. The Honda Prelude. This is just the base model. They did an SI too, but the SI really doesn't look a whole lot different, other than the fact that it has different wheels on it. That's the big difference. I think it might have come with a spoiler though. But if it did, you have to put the spoiler on it. I really do like the Honda Prelude though, not gonna lie. This one is one of my favorites. Look at that detail. Very nice. Honda Prelude. This one here is probably my favorite Skyline that Tomica Limited Vintage does. It's either my first or second, because they do the R30 and I like that one a lot. I just don't have that one. This is definitely my favorite of the Skylines that I have, which isn't many. I only have I only actually have 3. But I do like this body style. It's a very unique body style. Late 70s model. It's known as a Japan Skyline. That detail is just incredible. Now this color probably isn't the most desirable. There is another color of this that I would rather have. But if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. With TLV, I'm to the point where they cost so much that instead of getting a duplicate casting, I would rather, like, instead of getting this in the color that I want, I would rather take that money and buy a new TLV casting for my collection, because it just gets too expensive otherwise at $25 a car. Some of these are actually more than that. Like this next one here, this is a $60 casting. The Datsun 510 rally car. I have a feeling about this one though. I think this one in a couple of years is going to be a really good one to have. I need to get the new one with the gray wheels. love that car. I love all these cars though. Okay, which one? Let's do this one next. This is another one that was shown relatively recently, the Honda CRX. This is a 1983. Which, by the way, I think the Honda Prelude is also a 1983, I think, but I don't know for sure. So yeah, the date on the base is the year that the car was released. So that means that this Toyota Carina was released in 2008. Because all these other ones are much newer. That's probably the oldest one that I have, actually. 2015. 2015. What's the date on this one? (2009). That's a kind of an old one there. I like this one though. I like that gray rocker panel, and I like the wheels. But I do want to get a newer version of this with the solid body color and the newer wheels, just because the cars are different enough. I know it's the same body style, but they look different enough that I almost feel like it'd be justified. So really cool Honda CRX. This one here is a 2017. This is a Nissan Silvia Gazelle. And this came out in quite a few colors, but I find this color to be my favorite. They came out in red. I think there was a white one. I think it also actually came out as a convertible. But something about the two-tone blue and silver for me that I dig it. A lot of these cars were not ever commercially available here in the US. This one, I know this one always seems to be a fan favorite. This is the Toyota Crown Custom Wagon. And this one has a date of 2015. Crown Custom Van, actually. So this one's been out for a couple of years. I think my two favorite station wagons in my entire collection is this one and the lead sled. This thing is just so cool, man. There's something about this car. And unfortunately, this camera doesn't do that color any justice. Here's another fan favorite, the R33 4-door Skyline. This actually is one of my favorite as well. It's a very well done car. Wheels look amazing. The lines of the casting look amazing. The stance, the silhouette, everything about it. No bad angle. Also came out as a Japan police car. And I'm not sure if it's been out, if they've released it in any other colors besides the two. Personally, I really like the silver. Does have side view mirrors. They have an R34 four-door also, and I used to have that one, but I like the R33 a lot better because where this one is more rounded off, the R34 is more squared off. So it just depends on what your preference is. This one here, Toyota Celica. This is a pretty cool car. This is one of the few Tomica limited vintage cars that does not have a metal base. I don't know why that is, but this is definitely a plastic base. And that's a 2012 copyright date. This has been out in quite a few colors. I like the gray one the best, but I like the blue one a lot too. Pretty cool. That leaves us two more. The Honda Civic EK9. Probably one of the most realistic models that they've done. This casting is just very highly impressive. That one looks sweet, slammed. So there's that. And then the last one, this is my favorite TLV of my collection. This is the Nissan 260Z. In my opinion, this is the nicest executed Fairlady Z that has ever been produced in 1:64 scale. There are some nice ones with, I know Kyosho did a couple of nice ones with the Carnell. There might be a beads collection. But those are all custom racing Zs. This one is more stock. So for me, this one, and plus I don't know if they did a 260. I think those are 240s. And they are different cars. But this one just looks really good. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with the stance. It's a really nice wheel choice. The hood looks great, or the bonnet, the headlights. Great looking car. So, real quick, we'll just do a quick little recap, kind of. I'm trying to put the more modern cars. This modern is relative because I only have two that are from the 90s. Do have quite a few from the 80s though, with the Prelude and the Celica and the CRX, and what else is from the 80s? I think that the Gazelle is a car from the 80s. And the Nissan Prairie might be from the 80s. But I know the Safari. But I know the Landcruiser is older. I know the Toyota Crown van is older. And I know that Skyline is late 70s. Not sure about the Toyota Century. It looks to me like this would be a car of the 1980s. But who knows? I could be way off with that. Alright, so before we call it a night, let's do a little recap here. Toyota Corona, Toyota Carina, Toyota Landcruiser, Nissan Skyline, Toyota Century. Very nice car. This looks really good next to the Kyosho Bentley in the case. It stacks up very well next to that car. Japan Skyline. Yeah, this one here. So which one do you all like? If you guys were to start a Tomica limited vintage collection and you were to start it with one or two castings, which one or two would you buy? If I were to start it over, that one for sure I would buy. But I think my second one would be the EK9, just because of how nice the model is. That's not necessarily my second favorite, but it's just a really nice model, and it's only going to continue to climb in price. And I think a lot of these other ones are going to sit where they're at for a while, so probably be better to get that one before it skyrockets. I think this one could climb quite a bit too in the next couple of years. This one is for sure going to increase in value just because of that livery. So, all right, everybody. There you go. Tomica Limited Vintage. These are very, very highly collectible cars. They're very fun to collect. They're very high quality. These are cars for the advanced collector. A lot of people say they can't afford to collect these, and to that I say that's not true. If you can afford to collect Hot Wheels, you can afford to collect Tomica Limited Vintage. I doubt that there's a Hot Wheels collector anywhere out there that has less than 25 Hot Wheels. So, you know, the only difference is you get one car for every 25 Hot Wheels you would have. But your collection's going to be much nicer, much higher quality, and probably, depending on what your likes are, more enjoyable. But it's definitely fun to collect them. There's not, you know, you got to mostly go either online or you got to go to overseas sources for this kind of stuff. The Toy Pimp has a nice selection of this stuff, but he doesn't have everything. So, but he would be a good place to start if there's a particular casting that you're looking for. And yeah, I would recommend this brand to anybody. So thanks for checking out the video. You guys have a good Friday, and I will holler at the next one.